So the word Allah is not a name. And I have a newsflash for you. When you're a Christian, you say F Allah, because I see it all over the internet. You're literally cursing what the word just God means in Arabic. The deity, the one that is worshipped.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me that Allah is God?
It just means
Muslims worship a different God than Christians. True or false?
that's literally what I became famous for. I was on the
Break it down.
I was on the Danny Jones.
Make it simple enough to where my frat brothers from UT can understand
Very
this
simple.
shit.
I hate to break the news to you, but Jesus Christ probably looked like a Muslim more than he looked like the guys you guys see in the picture. That's number one. Number two, he didn't speak English. He didn't speak Latin. He didn't speak Greek. He spoke a Semitic language. The Semitic languages are Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and there's some other subcategories, but those are the three biggest. So they're cousin languages, just like when you have a Latin-based language, you have Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish. So the word Allah is not a name. And I have a newsflash for you. When you're a Christian, you say F Allah, because I see it all over the internet. You're literally cursing what the word just God means in Arabic. The deity, the one that is worshipped.
So wait a minute.
I gotta pause that. Because I gotta say this. I had said probably about 2 years ago or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All these different people in different places, different religions or whatever. You know, they call them, they all believe in God, different gods, as they would say, because they got a different name for it. But I always say they still worshiping the same God. Same God. Same God. I said that like 2-3 years ago. Same God. It's just they got a different name for him. Man, I've been on this something for a very long time, man. It's just straight up, man. It's the same person. They worshiping the same person, and they different religions be going at each other, getting mad at each other, or talking crap to each other. But y'all worshiping the same person, just a different name. Different name. It's a man of multiple names, man. Come on, man. Come on. I've been said this. I don't know exactly why this came on my timeline, on my feed, but yeah. Same person. I said this like 2-3 years ago. Same person, man. Y'all just call him a different name. Different name, man. Different name.
Are you telling me that Allah is God?
It just means the word God in Arabic. So if you go to Google, because you know it's crazy how many people didn't even know. Like, I hate to say this, and I'm not saying it to brag, but I probably informed more people in the West that Jesus spoke Aramaic than they knew. Go to Google, type in, what was the language of Jesus Christ? Do it right now. Let's show your audience. And remember, the people that own Google don't like Muslims. So they're not rigging it in our favor. What language did Jesus speak, right? Let's give them facts. And he spoke what? Aramaic, specifically a Galilean dialect. Now go to Google and type in, what is the Aramaic word for God? Okay? The language of Jesus Christ himself, peace and blessings be upon him, and his righteous mother, the Virgin Mary.
Is the
Language of Jesus. Yeah, what is the Aramaic word for God? Elah, or what? Pull it up. Elah is in the Hebrew, right?
Arabic.
Elohim.
Allah.
Elohim is the royal plural, right? The cognate of the word, right? So a word that's the same in multiple languages, especially in cousin languages. Ilaha, Allah, Allah, Arabic, same word, same root, same everything. When you're cursing Allah, Jesus ain't gonna like you too much in the next life.
Muslims worship a different God than Christians. True or false?
That's
crazy, man. That's crazy. It's crazy. But when I be hitting points, I don't be knowing where most of it comes from, to be honest. But it's like, when I said that 2-3 years ago, man, I think Sherbert and them was in there too. Like, bro, he's your God, man. Whether you like it or not, you can call him whatever. At the end of the day, it's still the same guy. He's a man of multiple names. Just, man, come on, man. Been said that. Been said it. I don't know. People don't listen. People don't listen. It's all good, man. Tell you. Tell you.
I would be more impressed with y'all if I saw y'all at church again before Mother's Day, because y'all going was real cute. If you only go to church on Easter, Christmas, and Mother's Day, are you not tired of hearing the same two messages at least? Like, I would be more impressed with y'all if I saw y'all at church again before Mother's Day.
You gotta watch this.
If he loves me, why does the...
Wow, watch this.
Before I pull up to the gas station, I get this word from God. Hey, help somebody at the gas station today, because I'm going to show you who I am and how much I'm leading you right now. I pull up to this gas station and I see this car right here. And I sit here and I'm pumping my gas and I'm here for 10 minutes and nobody comes to the car. So I go inside and I see this really nice woman checking out. And I looked right at her and I said, that's who I'm supposed to help. And as I'm checking out, I look out the window and I see that lady going to that car. It wasn't someone that I thought may be in need. It was just someone that I knew God wanted me to talk to today.
Hey, I just wanted to pay for your gas today. I feel like God wanted me to do that for you today. And it was kind of ironic because when I pulled up, I saw your car and I was like, that's who I'm supposed to help today. And then I walked inside and I saw you and I was like, I bet that's the lady that I'm supposed to help today. Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. Here.
God sent you to me. He did.
Why do you say
This
that?
is God.
Oh my gosh. Are you...
I've been having such a hard time.
Oh, I'm
And
so
somebody
sorry.
just stole from me.
Did they really?
And people just been taking. And I'm a nice person. I help anybody. I try to help people. And I do things for people, you know. And I ask God why.
And God sees you and that's why he sent me to you. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. He always sends somebody to me when I need them.
That's so true.
And I've been needing somebody so much. I don't have no friends. I don't talk to people because people are just not the same people anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Mm.
Oh my God, I don't even know why I came to this guy.
Me either.
But he knew I needed a message.
Yeah, he did.
You're the message.
I
You
believe
stopped
that.
me. No, you stopped me in my tracks because I was getting ready to be destructive and I don't want to be. And you stopped me. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Wow, watch this.
Before I pull
amazing.
up to the gas
That's
station.
amazing.
On a vacation.
They're gonna call the cops on you.
Pardon?
They're gonna call the cops on you.
Who's gonna call the cops on me?
The store, they always do. The security?
Yeah.
Said my trainer right here.
Johnny, do you know what sin is? And are you a sinner? And I'm looking at my body like, Pastor, come on now. You think I just drew on my body because I ran out of paper? We're gang members. Why would you ask me that question? Of course I'm a sinner. And he goes, why do you say that you're a sinner? And I'm like, I say I'm a sinner because I did a lot of stuff, like evil things, and doing bad makes me a sinner. You know what he said? The next few words blew my mind. He said, not so. I said, what you mean? I thought if I rob somebody, if I shoot at people, if I do X, Y, and Z, those are sins. And he goes, that's not true. According to the Bible, Romans chapter 5 verse 12 says that one man, sin entered into the world and brought death. For that reason, all are sinners. So he said, just like you, Johnny, did you choose to be Chinese? I was like, no, what kind of question is that? So if you eat more orange chicken and fried rice, then you're more Chinese. And if you eat less of it, then you're less Chinese. And I was like, yo, this guy got jokes. I'm like, nah, that's not what it is. I'm Chinese whether I eat chicken and whatever or not. And he goes, likewise, Adam's sin passed it down to you and me. And I said, man, that's the first time he broke it down, that sin wasn't an action, but it was an identity. So that's why he said you're empty. And I'm like, how did this guy know I was empty? Because I never told him that I was empty. I never told him I was depressed. He said, because you're a person who's imperfect, trying to be perfect. You're gonna keep failing. He said, so you probably live happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. When you feel happy, you're on the up. But when you crash, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. Until when? Emptiness enters your heart. And that's normal. That's the first time I heard that I was normal. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people probably told us, right? You ain't normal. There's something wrong with you. You crazy. I heard that all my life, but the pastor told me, Johnny, you're normal. There's one thing that you gotta do. You gotta understand that trusting in your thoughts is what's gonna lead you to sin, because the way you think affects the way you feel, and the way you feel, behavior. So if I have angry thoughts, I'm gonna have angry feelings, and then I'm gonna have angry behavior. I never understood it like that. I just would react. So he told me, Johnny, did you know that God has already made you perfect? And I was like, perfect? Wait a minute. I'm not perfect. That's what I was thinking. But he showed me a verse that changed my life. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 14. For by one offering, he has perfected forever them that are sanctified. One offering, he said, is Jesus Christ. Perfected, if you read it, is in past tense. And then it says forever. So it's already done. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, I don't feel like I'm perfect. But the word of God is telling you you're perfect. He said, who do you think is right? So I was like, okay, God is right. He's telling me that I'm perfect, but my thoughts are telling me, nah, you're not perfect. Now let me ask you guys something. Every time you guys followed your thoughts, overall, how did it work out? Was it good or was it bad? Bad, amen, right? I'm gonna go rob this dude. I'm gonna come up. Every time I followed that, ended up in prison. I was able to see that my mind was my biggest enemy. I was able to see that all my thoughts were leading me to misery. Johnny, do you know what sin is? And are you a sinner? And I'm looking at
See store for detail.
Just trust me, you're going to want to watch this till the end.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. So there's a story about a couple from Minnesota, and they were experiencing a very cold and dreary winter, and so they decided, well, why don't we come down to Florida to experience some good weather? And they said, well, why don't we see if we can stay at the hotel where we honeymooned 20 years earlier? So they made the arrangements. The only little hiccup was the fact that they couldn't get on the same flight. And so they agreed that the husband was going to travel down to Florida on Thursday, and then on the next day, on Friday, the wife would follow. And so the husband arrives safely. He goes to the hotel, he checks in, and he decides to send his wife an email letting her know that he arrived safely. Well, he inadvertently made a very small mistake. He left out a letter in her email address. So this email went to somebody else. Now, the recipient of the email was a woman in Houston, Texas, who earlier that morning had buried her husband. What? Her husband was a minister. And in the evening, she said, well, let me check my email because I'm expecting that some friends and family who were not able to attend the funeral might be sending me some words of condolence and encouragement. Well, needless to say, when she opened up the first email, she fainted. And her son ran into the room to discover she was okay. But he looked at the computer screen, and this is the email that he found. To my loving wife, I've arrived. I know you're surprised to hear from me. They have computers here now, and you are allowed to send emails to your loved ones. I've just arrived and been checked in. I see that everything has been prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hope your journey is as uneventful as mine was. P.S. It sure is hot down here.
Listen.
That's crazy.
Make sure you get everything in context. If you need a mentor to help you grow your relationship with Jesus, click the...
You gotta watch this.
I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, and maybe you are, if you were the devil, what would you do? And the answer that came back at me shook me in my shoes. I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I just convince you not to worship God at all. I'd tell you truth is relative. Your truth, my truth, until nobody knows which way is up. I'd whisper, as long as you're happy, it's right. I'd keep you busy. Too busy for prayer, too busy for church, too busy for crew. I'll put that one in. Too busy to ask eternal questions. I'd fill your hands with a phone so you never have time to fold them in prayer. I'd break families, get fathers absent, marriages bitter, and kids confused. If I can fracture the home, I can fracture the future. I divide the church, petty arguments, comparison, offense, celebrity culture. If I can get Christians fighting each other, they'll never fight me. I'd desensitize you. I'd glamorize sin in movies, normalize it in music, laugh at it in comedy, and celebrate it in culture until what once shocked you now entertains you. I'd attack your identity. I'd make you question who you are, where you belong, and whether you matter. I'd whisper shame so loud you can't hear God's voice of love. And through it all, I wouldn't even try to prove I exist. My greatest trick is to convince you I'm not real. Because if you don't believe I'm real, you'll never resist.
You gotta watch this.
I asked ChatGPT.
You can hate him if you want, but the truth will.
Hey, I heard it before, man. I heard that in somebody, I forgot who said that a while back. I heard it before.
Always remain the truth. Watch this.
I'm going to make the entire world make sense to you. I'm going to oversimplify some things, but I'm going to explain what's going on because you're confused as to why our politicians seem so evil, corrupt.
What? Oh, you all think smoking kills? Do you know that the amount of people dying from diabetes are 3 times as many people dying from smoking? Yet if I pulled a Snicker bar, nobody would say anything. Do you know that the leading cause of lung cancer is not actually a cigarette? It's your DNA. You could smoke for years and nothing will ever happen to you. This whole war against smoking is just to restrict the farming of tobacco. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I use these arguments, even though I just made them up, with a group of my friends. And the results, 5 of them believed what I said. 2 of them started smoking. Words, when said and articulated in the right way, can change someone's mind.
Facts.
This is Islam in a nutshell. Abraham had 2 sons. One side was the Israelites, one side was the Arab nation. We do believe that the Israelites were chosen by God, because Abraham was the father of the majority of the prophets. He chose the Israelites to deliver the word. He sent them the Torah, he sent them the Psalms of David, and then he sent their greatest son, who they denied. He sent Jesus Christ. Christ came with his gospel, which was his spoken word. The gospel was real, but we never had it preserved during his lifetime. It was compiled 40 to 300 years after his alleged crucifixion. John the Baptist was, and then they tried to humiliate the Messiah. They were cut off from Revelation. And then God crossed over to the other side of Abraham to deliver the final testament. That's what the Quran is. It's the last testament. We believe in the Old Testament. We believe in the Psalms of David. We believe in the gospel of Christ, which was not preserved. We know that the Torah was corrupted. We know that they changed the passages. And that is why we believe that the Quran is like the filter. It came last to rectify everything that came before it. And God made the book in such a way that anyone could memorize it. This is it.
I just want to say, good job, Jay Ivey. You must obey God rather than men.
When Jesus saw the woman who had committed adultery, he said, go and sin no more. He didn't then try to extrapolate every single sin and every single man she has slept with adulterously.
Pause. That's not what Jay Ivey did. I just want to say that's not what Jay Ivey did. He didn't do that. Keep going.
So I will just start by saying, 1, understand there's a difference between legal and biblical. 2, Jaden Ivey, make sure you tend to your mental and emotional health if indeed there is anything going on, because you have been very vulnerable about your struggles previously. And then 3, render to Caesar what is Caesar's and render to God what's God's. That's biblical if you want to talk biblically.
Well, I'll just say this. Pull up that meme. That is what just happened. Let's go back to Daniel. Everybody needs to bow down to this idol. And if you don't bow down, you're going to lose your job. And what it took is one guy going, sorry. No. And then, you know, somebody's a professional athlete, somebody's in the league, somebody's doing this stuff. The courage of one man, what it ought to do is put courage in the hearts of other men. Let the faith and courage of one guy spread. And I just want to say, good job, Jaden Ivey. You must obey God rather than men. And I want to encourage Jaden Ivey with Matthew 10:23. Jesus said, if you confess me before men, I also will confess you before my Father who is in heaven. Well done, brother. And I just want to...
Heaven does not send weak men into dark places.
Hey, you gotta watch this.
That 2,000 years ago, this Jesus of Nazareth came on the scene. He was God in flesh. He died on the cross for my own rotten life, was put in a tomb and resurrected from the dead. And when I started to kind of realize that dead men could live again, I put my faith in that. I was baptized in water for the remission of my sins. And that, in a nutshell, is the good news about Jesus. I know this, it was good news for me. I told my wife, I said, in order to get away from all of my old friends and all of this, temptation, running after dollar bills, whatever. I said, we need to find us a little place down there, and I'm going to fish the river. I'm going to build duck calls. I said, we will make it. She said, hey, let's go for it. So we ended up down here and at the end of the road in these woods down here. And basically all I do is fish the river, and I build duck calls. I will have to tell you that of all the people that's arrived here, and you being a couple of fellows yourself, I have shared Jesus with them in that simple story, the gospel about him, and I have walked a many a one of them down that river, walked down there on the bank and baptized them in the river. A lot of them.
For more spiritual encouragement, follow and subscribe for more content.
This is crazy. You gotta watch this.
Drive and live. Daytime. And I picked this lady up. She says, hey, how you doing? I say, I'm doing good. How about that?
That's acceptable.
Every week.
If you've had the same phone number for 5 or more years, you need to change this.
The one thing God promises, he promises two things, but he promises one thing first, and I'll show it to you, what he promises first. You guys think in this life you're supposed to have a nice house, a spouse,